Oh, I know you like that song.
I liked it.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, Keith Urban needs to pick that song up.
Hey, guys.
Hey,
You
we
know
got
the
some
life.
celebrities in the audience today.
Yes, we do. I'm looking for them.
We do.
I
Roger
tell you.
Doan. Where's Roger?
Yes.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah, Roger and Ann. How long you guys been married? 61. Both of you agree on that? 61 years. Wow.
Yes. Raj, I've missed you, man. It's so good
People
to see you and
online are
Ann.
wondering where are those celebrities from?
Yeah.
Well, Roger is the campus director here. He makes this place look great. He's just on sabbatical right now.
That's right. Just taking a rest.
But
Yep.
he was diagnosed with cancer, and man, this is a fighter if you've ever seen one.
That's right.
And he's with us today. Way to go, you guys. Way to go. Yeah. All right. We're kicking off a new series today, Claudia.
I
know you
that.
get excited
yeah,
about
I am.
this.
I'm just so excited.
You can't wait, can you?
Can't wait.
All right. So you want to start or you want me to start it?
No, I'll start.
Okay.
49 years ago this month, most of you weren't even born, Wes and I were freshmen at Indiana Wesleyan University. A few months earlier, we had just gotten engaged to be married that coming summer. My parents had just gotten divorced. Neither one of us had a job, no car, no money.
We're talking massive security here.
No house. My dad was so proud of all this. But we were in love, and we were going.
Baby.
You're saying were, but we still are, aren't
Well,
we?
we're going to talk about that today. That's one of the things we're going to discuss.
Yeah, but we might get in a fight right here. No, we were going to live the dream. In June 1971, Wes did get a job pastoring a church in Bluffton, Indiana.
Didn't have
and you
a
know what
clue.
was exciting about that? I didn't have a clue about what it meant to be. Yeah, I'd only been saved a few months. But anyway, what was great, it came with a house. They call it a parsonage. I didn't know what that was either. Came with a house, and we made $100 a week. We were living the dream.
Yeah,
What?
we were at $100, man.
Yeah, our car payment was $60 a week.
67.
Oh,
$67.50.
what's $7 when you're making $100 a week?
We thought we were rich, though, with that $100 check each week.
We did.
You remember the first time we went to the grocery
No.
store? Okay, we
Okay, the first time, that first week, when we went to the grocery store, we thought we were in Disney World. I did. I didn't have Mom saying, no, you can't have that much sugar, and Coke is bad for you, and don't get this, and don't. Did you get your vegetables, and blah, blah, blah. We just busted through that grocery store and got what we wanted. We had it packed up.
We did. It was over the top. I remember.
Somebody liked Twinkies and Ding Dongs and that stuff. And so anyway.
Still do.
I know. And so we checked out. Now remember, we made $100 a week. It was $105. We spent
105.
105.
Yep.
And it felt good. We
were
didn't realize we had bills
already
to
moving
pay.
backwards financially.
We hadn't been married a week.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right.
So, but we were so happy. That's the key thing. We were happy and in love, right?
Yes, of course.
I know you're picking up on the past tense here.
Well, because we're talking.
Yeah,
over
that's
the
what we're
span of
talking
years,
about
I
today.
hope. Yeah.
But truthfully, we didn't have a clue what makes a great marriage or not. Really, we didn't. I mean, I just kind of looked at my parents, and you looked at your parents, and we go.
And that was good. Sorry.
So I thought we would dig into this today and see what happens. I just want to stop here for a moment. You know, Claudia and I talked about this week. Every time we announce we're going to do a marriage series, there's like,
Well, I'm single. It doesn't matter to me.
I've been divorced.
And I'm dating. I'm too young.
This series really is for anyone who's alive.
Yeah, it helps with all relationships.
It does. It's
really
about
good.
relationship.
It's really good. Yeah.
Sure, we're going to deal with marriages, but it really is for everyone. And so those of you that are watching online, welcome today. We welcome you to Daybreak and invite your friends to watch. I was looking at Daybreak Live a while ago. Maybe I shouldn't have been during the singing. And people were writing in from all the different places.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Some of them were in Florida, which kind of like, whoa, that's not fair.
No.
So we're going to use this book right here. And when I first got this book,
This book means more to us than just a book. This
Yeah.
is written by Kevin and Marcia, who are the pastors down at in Atlanta, Georgia, of 12 Stone Wesleyan Church. They only run like 25,000 people, seriously. And they are dear, dear friends to us.
Well,
and we're honored.
we both were planted out of
Yes.
Kentwood Community Church. So Kevin and Marcia headed to Atlanta. Wes and Claudia headed to Hudsonville and
to
Jenison.
the tundra.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, so we went opposite ways, and this is hot off the press. And when I saw the title, Claudia, it just really intrigued me.
I like the coffee cups.
I do too. But really, I finally figured it out. I remember back when we bought a house over here in Georgetown Forest.
Yes.
And we were so happy with that house.
We were.
We just thought this is a cool looking, kind of had a Tudor look,
Yeah.
big trees, pine
Yeah,
trees around
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And it was just kind of cool. But I got tired of it. I
Well,
don't know.
after
It just
17
seems so
years,
small.
you
When
think,
the boys got larger,
Yeah,
it
the
ju-
boys got larger.
it seems so small.
It
and
was a small
and,
home,
and
but
it
it
just,
was-
I don't
it
know,
was
it,
fun.
it
It was
lost its thrill.
Oh.
And you remember one day we just said, well, let's just change it. Let's redo it. Let's remodel it. And so, you remember, I said,
No.
I'll start with the basement
This
because
is where we needed Raj.
this is the best place to start is down and work
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, we're
so
gonna make the
we started
basement-
with the
Whoa. We
Oh.
started with someone started with the basement first and thought he would employ the boys to help him
Right,
to
they needed
save money.
jobs.
So now I don't know what you call that white stuff.
It's drywall. I had
Drywall.
never drywalled in my life.
Never, neither of the boys, and so they drywalled
There were no YouTubes.
the whole basement, okay? The whole basement. And then
Oh, let's hurry up on this
I'm
piece.
sorry. Then we called some dude that knows how to plaster. Is that what you call it?
Well, you
Mud
forgot
it?
you forgot a big piece.
Uh-oh.
I came upstairs and I said, Claudia, I want you to come downstairs and look at our good work. No sooner I had gotten downstairs, the ceiling had fallen down on the. You remember that? It had fallen
I
off
wasn't
this.
going to tell that part, but
Well,
but
that's
wait
when
till
I
the
called
main
that
dude.
guy.
The main dude brings his van in. He carries all his stuff downstairs. He wasn't down there 5 minutes. He came back up and he goes, "What company
Did you use?
did your drywall?" Wes goes, "Well, I did.
I did.
We're going to have to redo all of it."
Which we're
Okay.
very thankful for.
Yes,
That-
very
you
thankful.
remember what the boys said at the end as they were getting to go off to college?
Why are you doing it now that we're leaving?
There's a reason. There's a reason. Okay,
And that
so
was good.
we had a remodel, and truthfully, it was so exciting. We put down new wood floors, filled out the basement. It looked like a nice, new, fresh house.
Yeah.
And we kind of fell in love with it again. You
Yeah,
remember?
we did.
We did.
Yes.
And we were there like 16 years, and we enjoyed it.
17.
17. We are convinced. We are convinced that this is true of marriages, that you have that first cup and boy, it's great. And then you go a while in your marriage and you go, man, there's something, I don't know if I really
didn't
like
know
this
he was
marriage
like this.
anymore.
I
This is
don't know."
boring.
Yeah.
I'm not happy anymore. So that's where Kevin and Marcia came up with the idea.
The
And I got to
second
tell you,
happy. Yeah.
if we run out of this book today in the bookstore, we will order more because I know this is the most unique marriage book that I have ever experienced. And I've got
It is.
I got a whole library of marriage books. You feel they've done me a lot of good? Well, sure they have.
Sure they have.
Yeah, they have. All right.
Okay.
So we are convinced this is true of marriage, and if you reinvest in your marriage, you will find a second happy. So in this book, there are 7 practices, and so we'll just put them up here on the screen. Number 1, I started to say the quiet cycle.
No.
It's quit cycle.
Very good.
Quit cycle.
Yes.
And then hands up prayer, pick a fair fight. Number 4, take a knee or two.
You can't even say fair fight. And let's repeat number 3.
Pick a fair fight.
There you go.
Take a
And-
knee or two. Don't settle for the hollow Easter bunny. Can't wait for that one. And number 6 is one of my favorites. Evict the elephant and choose your bucket.
and your shoes untied. I just didn't want you
Let's don't
falling
get
on
into
your
the.
face.
Let's don't get into tying the shoe up here.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
never get back. So here we go. Let's get into them.
The other night, I was rearranging my cabinets that are on a lower level, and I was laying on the floor digging around, and someone was taking pictures. And so when I finally got up, he says, "Look at your picture."
I said, look at this
said,
video.
If you
I didn't tell her
post
what it
that,
was. I said, look at this
I
video.
will kill you.
I love Facebook.
No, not that picture.
I love Facebook, and
It was not a happy
when
scene.
you finally accept that, I'm going to put it on Facebook.
It will never be
So
accepted.
we're going to pick four out of the 7. And then on Wednesday nights, we plan to cover at least a couple of these that we
Yes.
didn't cover on
Yes.
Sunday morning. So today, pick a fair fight.
Oh my gosh. What
Pick
did you have to drink this
Iced
morning?
tea. I had iced tea.
An orange juice? Was
No,
it
I
fermented?
just had iced tea, a bowl of oats that tasted awful.
Well, I saw how
because
you
I
fixed
prepared.
it. Hey, we're wasting time. Okay.
So, you buy a house, and then after a while, you see some flaws, right? And you go, I thought this house was just great. And then you begin to see some flaws here. So let's just go buy a new house. That's the attitude that a lot of us have. Or you can reinvest, and reinvest. So here we go.
Okay. You can kind of understand that today we're going to be talking about how to negotiate and talk and work through a fair fight. And so I just thought I'd highlight one of our stories. Several years ago, our elder board gave us a few more extra weeks during the summer to take a trip or do whatever we wanted. And so it's over 25 years ago, wasn't it? It doesn't matter.
It was
Okay,
20
maybe
I
it was
think
last year.
24.
Oh, 23 and a half.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, so we decided to go out west, per Wes's choice. And we're going to take the tent and all the equipment with that, throw it in the back of the Honda. And then the deal was we will visit the national parks and go out to California and head back. And we were going to tent every night because we were on a budget. And Wes went out,
I went to Barnes & Nobles and bought this book right here.
America's Cheap Sleep. So
For
what we did,
$40 or less, all these hotels. Look
so what we decided, our budget was $35 a night.
35.
Whenever we decided to stay in a motel.
That's like 1.5 stars.
The agreement was that we would do during the, and when we're in the tent at night, we sleep. Get it? Sleep. If anything else
I cannot
happens,
believe you're telling this part of
he
it.
has to dish out $35 and get me a gorgeous room. One room we slept in the tent. It was so bad.
We put the tent up in the room. We did.
Yes.
That was in L.A.
If you ever need this book, just let me know. It's in good shape. Didn't get wet on the trip.
We carried it right with us.
Yep. And so anyway,
Oh, you didn't talk about the one at Coos Bay.
I'm getting ready to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. So anyway, we got to Seattle. We took a car ferry, which was a brand new experience to us. We went to Victoria. It was gorgeous, but we couldn't afford any of the rooms. They didn't have $35 rooms over
And
there.
there was no camping
And
places.
so Wes goes into this cute little place and says, "Do you have any affordable rooms for us tonight?"
Affordable.
He says, "I have one room left. The room is over where the band plays. You will, over the band. We'll take it." We were so excited because it was such a cool looking place and we were in a cool city.
And when we walked into the room, it was gorgeous.
It was gorgeous.
We didn't know
and then
what was
about
coming.
8 o'clock, about 2 a.m.,
It was Sam Briggs.
so you get up and you dance with it and you know.
It was like Sam back here twice,
Or 3 times.
3 times.
No sleep, but hey, it was fun. Okay, so then we head to, I'm not getting these in order. There's just highlights. We went to Glacier National Park. That place is so gorgeous. We tented there. And when we checked in, the dude says, now if you have to use the restroom during the night, who doesn't? There's, what are those animals?
Mountain lions.
Yeah, mountain lions. And they're around here and they kind of like to follow you. And
In fact, they just had an incident with a child.
yeah.
I won't go any further than that.
Thank you. And so he says, if you'll put bells on your shoes, like I carry bells, bells on your shoes to go to the restroom. So sure enough, like 2 in the morning, I had to go to the bathroom. And snorer boy here, I said, "Hey, babe, will you go with me?" "You can buy it. You're down Just hurry. Okay, so off I go, scared to death, and I'm going, ding-a-ling-a-ling, jingle, 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 jingle,
I
jingle,
can hear her.
jingle, jingle, jingle,
made it
jingle,
up.
jingle. I go to the wonderful
You're here.
bathroom. Yeah, I
You
made
made
it.
it.
I made it. All right. So the next day, Wes says, I think we ought to go horseback riding through the mountains.
That was one of my dreams.
Ask him if he has experience riding a horse. But anyway, so we go to this ranch and we sign up. And the question they ask, are you a experienced rider? Well, I was.
And I was.
He rode the horse out at my uncle's house, and Bob says, Wes, do you know how to ride a horse? I do. I know how to ride a horse. Okay. Wes gets on the horse, turns it towards the barn. Off he goes through the cornfield with his reins up here. Whoa, whoa. I'm sorry. But anyway, so we go on this beautiful ride through the mountains. A young lady was our guide. And she says, so I said, yeah, I'm a little experienced. That's okay. So she brings out this horse, and she says, now, Joe Blow here is a little gassy today, and we can't tighten the saddle very much.
Cinch.
So thank you. You'll just have to balance the saddle as you ride. And he's also been a lead horse, so he'll always want to be taking lead, but you can't let him take lead. Keep him back. Okay. So we're going through these beautiful mountains. It's gorgeous. And something spooked him. And up he goes. I slide over his butt, down on the down on the ground. And all I see is his big behind. And I thought, he's going to come down on me. I don't remember anything after that.
I saved you.
Oh, yes. And so all I remember hearing when I woke up was, we got to get her back on the horse to get her back. We just can't leave her here. And I thought, okay.
The girl was 18, and she's over here smoking because she's nervous. And finally, she says to me, I'm pregnant as well. I don't know what to do with your wife.
And I've never had this to happen. And I'm like, and so anyway, they get me back up on the horse. And so Wes goes looking for a motel. Oh, but meanwhile, we had to throw the tent and everything in the back of the truck. He found this motel somewhere.
Best Western.
There you go. And had a hot tub in it. And I stayed in that hot tub. Calipolis?
Yeah, something like that. I don't remember.
Wherever this is. All right. So anyway, so I made it. I'm fine. And then we head on out, and we come to a little place called Ten Sleep.
Ten Sleep.
That meant the
Ten
Indians
Sleep,
from
Wyoming.
this point to this point, it took them 10 nights to
Indians.
What did I say?
I don't know.
Who knows? Okay, so anyway, but the place was closed off, and the guys had their rifles over their shoulders, and they had their holsters on. They were walking the street. Wes says, let's get out. I said, we're not getting out.
Coolest scene I'd ever, it was not a plaything.
It looked like a Clint Eastwood movie, like Hang 'em High or something.
It did.
And I was
said,
scared.
let's park and get out
Nope.
and enjoy this.
I didn't. Nope.
She said, I'm not getting
no,
out.
No, I'm not getting out. So anyway, we're all heading out to Grand Canyon, I think. I don't know. And we get into some kind of discussion, fight.
We got into a verbal discussion, and I knew I had my facts. And she says, you're wrong. You're wrong. Are you going to pick up here?
When you're ready.
Okay.
So we just go at it. I cannot remember what it was about, so it must have really been important.
Well, we got into
All I
her
remember,
mother,
no, we didn't
comparing
get into
her to her mom.
No, all I remember is he says, you know what? You're acting just like your mother. He had pulled that once before.
I did.
When Chad was born, and we won't go into that one.
I pulled it once before, and I pulled it again that day.
And he pulled it again this day.
On Grand Canyon.
I started cleaning his cage, and he started cleaning mine.
And that Honda got smaller and smaller.
I wasn't going to die for this one, man. I'm done.
She would not give in at
he
all.
Would not
I knew I was right.
So the last statement was from Wes. All right.
I've had it.
I've had it. We're just going home. Whoopee. Let's go home. We're out in Colorado somewhere.
Yeah, we're just getting ready to.
We still had a week to go.
A week.
So big boy here drives all the way home.
Mad.
We
Mad.
get home.
I mean, we're in a major fight.
And he comes in the house and says, I just realized I ripped off a week that we could have been out.
I threw the
having
whole week away because of my ego. I'm confessing here.
Okay.
My ego and my pride and my willingness to stand up for what was right. I get home here in Georgetown Forest and I said, Claudia, it dawned on me, I've thrown a whole week away that we were going to plan to be in the Rockies and Breckenridge and enjoy
In the tent.
all because I'm going to admit it in front of these wonderful people, stubbornness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yes. I mean, it was a major fight.
Major.
Major. I mean, we're talking about it finally.
But
Yeah.
listen, sidebar. One night before we got in this fight, we were in some kind of nice little place, and they had their candles for sale. And I had never bought these type of candles. We all have them now. They burn forever and ever and ever, and they smell delicious. So I bought 4 evergreen candles. Evergreen candles, okay?
Because we were in the camping mood.
Yeah, so I lit all 4 of them.
All 4 in the
We
in the
were in one of
little
our
motel room.
$35 rooms. I lit all 4 of them. And they burned and they burned and they burned. And Wes goes, do you think we have enough candles going on? So I said, okay, I'll just blow them out. They smoked so much, they turned on the
Fire alarms.
and so now we got the door open.
Yeah,
We're
had to
trying-
get them off.
We got in trouble.
The lady said you should not be burning 4 candles.
I thought it would be nice and romantic. We about killed ourselves. Okay, go ahead.
So I wanted Claudia to understand she wasn't listening to me. That was the whole point in the conduct out in Grand Canyon. You're just not listening to me. Do you remember this? And so when I felt like she wasn't listening to me, I pulled out the mother card. And I won't tell you what the discussion was about because that's still kind of private.
Well, I can't remember it, so I haven't asked him to remind me.
So I just dug in. That's what I did. I just dug in and I thought, I'm going to be the leader here and I'm going
Yeah.
to be the husband
Yeah.
and I'm going to lead this and I dug in
Yeah.
and it just got worse.
It did.
You remember? Yeah.
And we will learn today it doesn't resolve conflict, it just increases it.
Yeah. So that's what we're going
Okay.
to talk about. So a fair fight rule, we'll put it up here on the wall. Seek to hear as you would be to be heard.
Seek to listen, seek to hear as you would to be heard.
So this is easy.
Most of the time, what do we want? We want to be heard. We
Right.
want to get our point across. We want to load it up and fire it off. That's not what we're going to teach today.
You know, when you're dating, man, you're willing to compromise. I can still think back. I was compromising on everything. I was so madly in love with you. I
Yes,
wouldn't
you
even
were
have
precious.
an argument. Do you remember this?
Yes.
So, you know, when you're dating, you just kind of give in on everything. It probably should be reversed, shouldn't it?
Well, then you'd never get married.
Well, that's true. I just admire her little, wisdoms that she gives.
I am wise. Okay,
So you got to get a second happy.
that's right.
So we're
Wait.
going to give several scriptures right now, and we'll put them up here on the screen so you can watch. You don't need to take notes. By the way, get the book. It is so loaded, and we're gonna fly through the next part here really quick because
But all of this is in
It's
there.
in here,
All of
and
it.
I'm just telling you, this is a must-buy book right there. All right, here we go.
James 1, 19 through 21. Understand this, my dear brothers and sisters, you must all be quick to listen. Quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry.
Quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to get angry.
Human anger does not produce the righteousness God desires. So get rid of all the filth and evil in your lives and humbly accept the word God has planted.
That word humbly right there, that's a big word because I think back to the story you just told. I had everything but humility, and I was going to stand for my rights. You remember? Yeah, okay. And so James is telling us here, get the scripture in your mind. Get it in your mind. Get these scriptures in your mind.
and
then
in your heart.
And in your hearts. And then be
And
quick
why?
to listen.
For it has the power to save your soul.
That's right. Let's go to Philippians.
Okay. Slow to speak, quick to listen. Philippians 2, 3 through 4. Don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble. thinking of others as better than yourselves. That is so huge. If we can have true humility given from Jesus and we think of others before ourselves, it just helps in everything we do. Don't look out only for your own interests, but take an interest in others also.
See, this applies to all of life. And it applies to whether you're dating, whether you're single, whether you're divorced, whether you're married, unmarried, or whatever. This is stuff that is great. This is good for all of us.
Ephesians 5:25. For husbands, this means love your wives, just as Christ loved the church. He gave up his life for her. 1 Corinthians 13.
So here's what he's doing. So he's going to define love. Paul, the apostle, who used to be the chief of sinners,
Yep.
he's going to define love, and he defines it here in 1 Corinthians. So I want us to keep that in mind as we get into the word love.
Okay. 1 Corinthians 13, 4-5. Love is kind and patient, never jealous, never boastful, never proud or rude. Love isn't selfish or quick-tempered. It doesn't keep a record of wrongs that others do. We learn, this is not scriptural, we learn how to fight fair. These scriptures are all showing us how, no matter what relationship you're in, you need to learn to fight fair. Proverbs 18:2. Fools have no interest in understanding.
I just get tickled when I hear you read that. Because I know what you're thinking.
Yeah, I do.
I know what you're thinking.
Fools have, let's repeat
She
it.
wants to read this 4 or 5 times.
Fools have no interest in understanding. They only want to air their own opinions. Proverbs 18:13. Spouting off before listening to the facts is both shameful and foolish. Isn't it amazing what's in God's word?
So real love does one thing here. It changes the way you fight.
Yes.
And that's what we're going to get into.
Yeah.
Real love learns to fight fair. Learns
Yes.
to fight fair. And you know, we're living in a culture right now, it's all about listen to me.
Yeah.
Me. It's all about my way, my thoughts, how I see life. It's all about selfishness. In marriage, can we be heard? But what's happening here with marriage is it's just getting worse.
That's right.
Let's go here.
Okay. We can keep fighting all the way through our marriage and destroy our relationship, or we can learn to fight fair and have a second happy.
Yeah.
So Wes is going to introduce a few things here.
So, you know, before you get into a fight, like if you're into boxing or whatever, not that we're into boxing, but I enjoy once in a while watching a boxing match on television. There's some pre-fight rules. So we're going to put these pre-fight rules up here. And I don't know, do you want to go through them?
You can jump in. Number one, you call for a fair fight. So if you're having this boom, 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 you just say, you know what? Let's stop, and we're going to set up the rules here, and we're going to have a fair fight. And that's what we're going to show you here in a minute. Define the issue. I'm having trouble with you talking about my mom all the time. I'm making all this up. Okay, so you define the issue. Then you schedule the fight. Now imagine this. You schedule the fight. You get your calendar out. What day are you not busy? What evening do you not have a meeting? Where do we not have to go? We're going to talk.
And folks, we did not do this in the first part of our marriage at all. It was spontaneous, on the spot, knock down, drag out.
Yep.
As hopefully we've matured a little bit. We
Number
schedule.
4, show up. And the key word here is lovingly engaged. Don't come like I'm going to show her or show him something. I'm ready to take them on. No, that's not what we're talking about. Keep the fight clean. We don't name call. We don't hurt feelings, because you never forget those words, right? Yeah.
So now we've got the pre-fight rules, and what we're going to show you now are the different stages. So we'll put the stages up there because this is important as we're going to progress through the stages. And again, let me just say there's a lot of stuff we're leaving out because we just figure you're going to read the book and it's covered in the book. The first stage is communication, and we're going to get into that. The second stage is the compromise. The third stage is the counseling. So let's go with the first stage here. The first stage is communication. Round one, Claudia shares with me her perspective. She lays it out there and says, this is the way I see it. This is the way I see it. I'm to listen
Not
to
interrupt.
what?
Not
To understand.
teach. Yes.
Understand. That's round one.
Round two, Wes makes sure that he has heard me right. I confirm that Wes understands. Because sometimes we reify what we think it is and says, yeah, that sounds great. What sounds great, Wes? What did I say to you? And so round two, you don't leave round two. If you have to go back to round one and I
she's
tell
good
it
at
again.
this. She will stop and just say, what did I say?
And if you have to go back, I start again.
Yeah.
And I say, what's up? And then he comes back and tells me how he interprets what I said. And I agree if it's right.
So round three, I share my perspective. Claudia, this is the way I see it. And so I do speak up, and sometimes I even increase my volume.
Just a little.
Yeah. But you listen. You
Oh,
do.
yes.
You take
I'm a
time
good listener.
to listen in this particular round.
Okay, round four. Claudia makes sure that I have understood Wes. And he confirms if I've understood. If not, then we go back to round three again. And Wes does his little presentation, and we make sure that we both understand each other.
Okay, this is the art of communication. And Claudia, nobody shared this with us for our marriage, did they?
No,
My parents didn't, and
not mine.
probably not yours.
No,
See, your mom should have shared some.
Wes.
This is the art of communication. Now, let's forget marriage for a moment. This is the same stuff that could be applicable at work. This could be applicable with a neighbor. This could be applicable with some other relationship. This isn't just for marriage. This is for all relationships. So now let's move into the next stage here. And I want to just say one word here. My knee-jerk reaction is to jump to compromise. I like to get it settled quick. Let's
Let's go out and get a pizza.
Exactly. And that was my mode of operation for many, many years in our marriage, right?
Yep.
Let's get it settled, Claudia. Let's get it done. And sometimes she just go quiet on this particular piece. And I knew that it wasn't settled, but we went ahead and had pizza anyway. And we just hoped everything was, we just brush it under the rug, so to speak. And it wasn't until we realized something is wrong here, which leads us to stage two, the compromise. All right.
Go. Round five.
You would offer solutions. You
Yep.
would say, Wes, this is the way I see it, and this is what I think needs to happen here. And
what do?
I'm to listen.
Very good.
Yes.
Yes. You are to listen.
I am to listen.
Yes,
Which
yes.
is
Yes.
round five.
Okay, round six. Wes offers his solutions, and I listen.
And you're pretty good at that.
Oh, well, thanks.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Stage round seven here. Now we're only going into these various rounds here because we didn't finish it in stage one. So we would discuss the options and agree on a compromise.
Round eight. Kevin and Marcia really believe in doing this. Pray,
Yes.
write it out, sign it, honor it. We've never we pray, but we've never signed an agreement, and we honor, but we don't,
Well,
I'm
we've
not into
learned
that.
this from them and this book, and we
Yes.
thought, man, that is so good.
And we know that they do this.
Yes, they
and
do this.
I
We know
honor
they
them
do
for
this.
that. So here's the deal. If you can't get through stage one and stage two, the compromise, you're at round eight, and you're not agreeing on anything. That's when you go back and start it again. And if you can't come to a compromise, you go to stage three. It's very seldom that by 8 rounds that you haven't settled your peace with each other and have to get a counseling. So stage three is counseling, and the steps you take, either like here it says, did you want to do round 9?
Yeah, and we've had to move more than once to stage three, and I would say This has happened more in recent years when we really should have been doing this early in our marriage. And you may be sharing an incident that happened early in our marriage. But you go to very trusted friends at first. And I say trusted. And by the way, Claudia and I have made it a practice never to share with a friend about an issue, be it sex, be it mother-in-law, be it money, be it parenting. Never break that moment, this trust factor, unless we've both signed off on it and we agree. Claudia, can I talk to one of my closest friends?
No. I'm pretty private.
This is important, though, isn't it?
It is.
It is.
They have to agree
So
to
we're
this.
not heading out
Yeah.
and telling various
Yeah,
people about our...
one spouse tells a bunch of crap and then,
Right.
excuse me,
Right.
crud.
That's right.
Yeah,
And then we begin to seek counsel. Round 10.
Okay, you discuss your friend's advice and you seek a compromise. So if you have opened up to friends and you're listening to what they're offering, you seek the two of you feel if that's right for you to do.
Round 11, if it goes to this, you seek out a pastor. Could be somebody here at Daybreak or a marriage counselor. Just this, in the last 2 weeks,
Yep.
I've been making references to some outstanding counselors.
We have them all listed on our website.
Yes, you can go to our website.
Yeah.
Round 12.
Process counseling and seek a compromise. Always compromising and seeking your counseling. It's according to what you need to do. I think I shared this just recently. Pretty sure.
Yeah, you did on Valentine's Day.
Oh, Valentine's Day. So that was pretty recent. At the time of our marriage, I forget how many years we'd been married, but Wes was still working for his father. He was gone 240 nights a year. And when he was home, he'd come home clockwork, 6:30 Friday night. We'd have all day Saturday, which we would do stuff around the house and all that stuff. And I would cook his favorite meals. Sunday, we would go to church. Sunday afternoon, I started washing his clothes, ironing his shirts for his meetings. He's back in the back studying for his next meetings the following week. Then we take him to the airport 6:30 on Monday morning. Sometimes, most of the time, he's gone weekly. Sometimes when he went to California, he'd be gone 2 or 3 weeks at a time. When he traveled the world with these meetings, he was gone a lot. So I supported him totally, and so did the boys. But I started thinking, I felt I have the full responsibility of raising my boys. I have the full responsibility of running the house. I have the full responsibility of making sure I'm doing my best job as an educator every week. I'm having the responsibility of church on Sunday. I signed up to help teach and lead there. So I was lonely. I questioned myself. I didn't know where I was going.
And I reminded her that I'm doing the Lord's work. That's what I would do. I'm doing the Lord's work.
I'm saving people for Jesus. What are you doing?
I did that.
So anyway.
Not good.
On my, he didn't win votes telling that. I wasn't going to do that. So anyway, I sought a great counselor out at one of the largest churches in Winston-Salem. And I drove there and set up my own counseling, went in on my own. And I told him, I said, I'm screwed in my head. I'm not sure I know what I'm to be doing and what's going on. This went on for 15 years, this traveling and doing this. So he did a battery of tests on me, bunch, since I had no idea. And so the last week, he says to me, now, Claudia, when does Wes get home? Well, he'll be home Friday. Okay, he needs to be here. I said, what? He said, Wes needs to be here. I said, he won't do this. He doesn't believe in counseling, and if he thinks I've been out getting counseling, this will not go well. He says, he has to be here if we're going to have a successful time here. So I told him, it went over like I thought it would, and I just begged him. I said, just please come the one time, please.
Well, I had no humility. I had an E.
What he thought is that I'd gone in there and run him down. I never once talked about Wes to this counselor. Not one time. I talked about me. I never talked about people that I thought were influencing the situation. I didn't bring up any of that. I just wanted to find out what's going on with Claudia. And so when I convinced him of that, he came. And the guy welcomed him, and Wes soon felt very comfortable. And then the guy says, I want you to sit down here, and I'm going through all these tests with you that your wife just has finished in the last few weeks. And I want you to see who she is and what she's all about. So things that I was dealing with, which I'm not going to say to you, he verified, she's great here, she's good here, she did it. And Wes just listened. And then he got to one of the last points, which I told you on Valentine's Day, is that Claudia says that you may be going into full-time ministry together. We had talked between ourselves that he was going to resign from his father's work. Father didn't know that yet, but that's what we were thinking God was calling us to do. And God called us here. He says, your wife will be a great pastor's wife, which I didn't know what that meant. And he says, however, she lacks one ingredient that is very important in the field of ministry. Claudia is the type that she'll be driving down the interstate, and she'll see a young lady pulled over in her car and the hood's up. She'll wave and honk and drive on by. She won't stop. She won't give a call for help. In other words, she lacks mercy. So if you are going to go ahead and do this, you need to be doing things that cause you to have mercy in your life. But anyway, we went through that time, and I came out of that situation okay. And I felt good about myself and knew that I was going to be okay. And Wes and I worked through that, and it was good.
Philippians says, don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourselves. Don't just be out there looking for your own interest, but take an interest in others. You must have the same attitude that Jesus Christ had. Lord Jesus, you've heard this simple message that is complex in some ways. And I pray right now as we finish this service off, that if there be anybody here today that needs help, needs counseling, needs a friend, that they will not be above seeking that out. We pray these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.